Hey folks, Dr. Mike here from Renaissance Periodization with Joey Satmary of Sat Strength, and we are here to give you a good message and a bad message. The good message is because you're a good person, you know how to do push-ups super well and you never do them wrong. But everyone else, almost everywhere in the whole world, does push-ups fucking terribly wrong, and we're here to expose those people and show you how to fix terrible push-up technique. Let's do it. Probably the biggest mistake in push-ups is doing a partial range of motion. Every motherfucker out there thinks they're doing push-ups, but they're really not, because a properly executed push-up goes all the way to locked elbows, and your chest, if you're doing them to the ground, and you can go lower, we'll show you later how to do that, chest touches the ground, okay? A lot of people will do push-ups, and this extends even into folks that do push-ups hypothetically to get in really good shape. Folks sometimes in the military, police, so on and so forth, they'll say, oh, I know how to do push-ups, and a lot of them do them super well, and a lot of them fucking don't. It's fucking embarrassing. Show us what a set of pump push-ups looks like. People say, yeah, I can do 100 push-ups in a minute, and they do this bullshit. What the fuck is that? What is that? It's nothing. Good enough, sort of. Bad enough, okay? A real push-up must lock out the elbows every time, and must go all the way down at least to touch the chest gently to the ground. You don't have to hang out on the ground for an hour, but touch the chest to the ground and all the way to lockout. Give us a look at what that looks like, Joey. All the way down, and all the way up, and all the way down, and all the way up. Perfect, and that's good enough. Folks, fucking rocket science. Next mistake, super related to the one we just did, is not having a standard range of motion for each rep. Sometimes people say, okay, yeah, more range of motion is better, but then they start doing push-ups. One rep is great, the other rep's not great. Folks, this is a huge downside, mostly because of tracking. How do you know you're progressing? How do you know what to add to progress? You say, well, I did 20 push-ups last week with 10 pounds on my back, and then with 10 pounds on my back this week, I did 21. And someone could say like, yeah, but the ones you did this week, like there were a lot more like cut range of motions, like half reps. Did you actually perform better? You have no idea fundamentally. So another great thing about going all the way to lockout and all the way chest to the ground in push-ups is every rep is the same. It's easy to program, it's easy to track, it's easy to figure out if you're making gains or if you're stalling and it's time for a deload or time for a change. Joey, show us what it looks like when people do like a bunch of different kinds of reps. Like the first rep, they might go a real great first rep all the way up and down. Then they're like, fuck that, sort of, and then they sort of pump, and then it's another full range of motion rep. Who fucking knows? Perfect. How many fucking push-ups was that? Who knows? Each push-up needs to look basically the same. Strict, chest to ground, full lockout. Give us a look at what 3 good push-ups are like, just for a quick refresher. All the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, and all the way up. That's perfect. Folks, for those of you counting at home, how many push-ups was that? That's not up for debate. Next mistake is not controlling the eccentric. Like many of our videos that you've hopefully seen already in other lifts, controlling the eccentric is essential for basically 2 reasons. 1, it slightly enhances safety, and 2, it lets your muscles contract eccentrically, which is a lengthening contraction, which is hugely stimulative for hypertrophy. We are not here to do push-ups just to do push-ups. How many push-ups can you do? Oh, 100, get the fuck out of my face with that shit. You do as many push-ups as you have to get close to failure to stimulate muscle growth. The way you're gonna do that is control the eccentric and produce a lot of force on the concentric. Joey, show us what it looks like when people dive bomb push-ups. One sort of something happened, who knows, right? That's bullshit. A real push-up is a controlled eccentric. Now, before you demo that, does it have to be super slow? No, it has to be under control. So on the way down, you should take at least a second, and then you can come up. Can you do 3 and 4 second eccentrics? You totally can. That's another great way of training. It's optional, but it has to be under control on the way down and on the way up. Give us a look at just 2 push-ups would look nice and good. Controlled, and then up, and we're never falling, and then up. Perfect. The next is actually 2 mistakes for the price of 1. It's really sly bullshit ways of cutting your ROM so that you can do more push-ups and get less out of them. The first one is not actually locking out your elbows on push-ups. Remember, push-ups are designed to target the chest, front delts, and triceps, and your triceps love the lockout. If you don't believe me, try close grip push-ups and lock every single rep out. Your triceps will be on fire. Constant tension's cool and all, and you can almost maintain it, but just make sure you at least lock out and come back down. That doesn't mean you have to hang out there for an hour, but full range is best. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll do push-ups locked out, but they'll get to here and then they'll come back down. Give us a look at what that it looks like there. So they go all the way down and then come up all the way and then come all the way down and come up. And usually they do it pretty fast, so you can't tell. Is he locking out? I don't know. It's not super convincing, right? The right way is to lock out convincingly every single time. Give us a demo here. All the way up. Boom. Perfect lockout. That's it. Good enough. Very good. That's what we want. Second, very related tip, so it's in the same mistake category, is the t-shirt bullshit reaching the bottom fake, where if you do push-ups shirtless, sweet, you can't fake this one then. Most of us wear t-shirts in the gym, you know, sort of the gyms insist we have t-shirts on. It's bullshit, I know. A lot of times your shirt will sag down, and if you're bullshitting yourself or somebody else, you can go just low enough to touch your t-shirt to the ground, but your chest doesn't touch the ground. You catch an extra ½ inch or an inch of ROM, or rather give up a ½ inch or inch of ROM. This means you can do more push-ups, but again, that's total bullshit because we want maximum effect. So go almost all the way down, and you'll notice on the camera angle, it's really hard to tell. Like, is that a good push-up? Like, almost, that's pretty good, but there's that one little bit down there that he's not getting. And remember, especially for the pecs in that position, tension under stretch is massively hypertrophic stimulus. You want to go deep. That's a very good idea. Don't cut yourself short. Here's the thing. Real life, we've all trained hard. It's super fucking tempting to almost lock out and then go back down. And it's super tempting not to touch your chest to the ground because you can write in your logbook, I did 23 push-ups after a chest workout. I'm the man. Forget all that stuff. Do every single push-up right. You get maximum benefits and minimum costs. When we do push-ups, we want to maximize the length of the moment arm to deliver the most torque that we can to the upper body musculature that's doing the pushing. That means we want our hips and butt roughly in line with the rest of our body, which makes the push-ups as hard as possible for all the right reasons. There are two ways to cheat this, which are no bueno. The first one is to move your feet arbitrarily closer, shortening the moment arm, and you shoot your butt up to compensate. Give us a demo of what that looks like, Joey. So you're gonna have your butt up high in the sky, and you're gonna say, I'm doing push-ups, but really they're easier than real push-ups because you've shortened the moment arm. Another way to shorten the moment arm, which is even easier to do, and tons of people do, is at least keeping your butt up requires some effort. This doesn't require any effort at all. You just collapse right into having sex with the floor push-up. Give us a look at what that looks like here. So you let your hips drop and you're sort of doing push-ups. Yeah, great. You're getting like 2/3 of the normal force you would be. Is it tough to do push-up with a very flat plank position? Yes, but we're here for tough. We showed up to the gym to get tougher and be tough and to expose ourselves to a high degree of stimulus. If we wanted to take it easy, we could have just stayed at home and watched endless hours of Netflix by ourselves because we have no friends and nobody loves us. Joey, show us a real push-up with a solid plank position. Super flat, everything is connected, perfect. The next mistake is not so much a mistake, but kind of a myth, overvaluing head position. It happens a lot in other lifts as well. People think, okay, when you're doing push-ups, don't look down because there's something fucking magical that happens when you look down. Apparently it ruins your biomechanics, you're gonna die. Or people say look up, but then if you look up, you're gonna break your neck, you're gonna be paralyzed forever. All that's bullshit. You're gonna look where you damn well please, where two things happen. One, you're comfortable, right? Your neck doesn't feel weird and like you're straining it a lot or just trying so hard to keep your head in a certain position that it's taken away from the movement. And two, where you find that you have the most strength and the most ability to produce force. Same thing, I guess. Joey, demonstrate the two possible sort of extreme head positions that are fine. Joey can look straight down into the ground, that's totally fine. And he can look directly ahead of himself, that's totally fine. Guess what else is totally fine? Anything in between. Next mistake is letting fatigue in a set break down your technique. Push-ups are tough because they require a lot of rigidity, a lot of attention to multiple body segments. It's not just you sit in a machine and everything else is taken care of and you just contract the one muscle. So they're challenging because as you get closer and closer to failure, which you should be, it's really, really tempting for your fatigue to break down your technique and incrementally degrade how well each push-up goes. So people have all the best intentions sometimes when they start a set, towards the end they let it go. Here's the thing, you have two priorities during a set of push-ups close to failure. Priority one is to make sure you are producing a ton of force to the target muscles. Priority two is to make sure your technique does not break down. It's easy to do at the beginning of the set, very difficult at the end. They never said training was gonna be a breeze. Joey, show us what it looks like when people do close to failure push-ups and they break down. So getting into 3 reps in reserve, looks great. Next rep, and then the hips, what is that? Who knows, right? People start looking like a seal out of water after a while, or like a walrus. Walruses are cool because they're enormous, they're pissed. I've been told they smell, but you don't do, if you want to be a walrus, you chose the wrong genetics in life. You're a human being, do your fucking push-ups properly. Joey, show us what it looks like when you get close to failure. You're gonna have to fake it. What does failure look like in a push-up? We'll say you'll fail after 3 reps. 1, 2, and then come halfway up. You can't do it anymore, fall. Failure. Guess what? You can always fucking roll out. Is it embarrassing to roll out walrus style from a failed push-up? Maybe if you're like in the 7th grade and everything embarrasses you, but listen, if you go to failure in push-ups and you can't do a push-up, there's nobody laughing at you. Do the right thing, fail in style, preserving good technique, and then you'll know for sure that you're doing a good job, and you'll know next time how many push-ups you have to do to beat your past performance. The next super quick mistake in push-ups is overvaluing grip position specifics. Okay, a ton of people are like, okay, I'm doing push-ups. What kind of hand position should I do? Should it be like this? Should I point my hands out? Should it be close? Should it be wide? That's all for different stuff. Fundamentally, you want wider hand position if you want to target the pecs, preferentially in reference to your triceps and your front delts. If you bring in your position closer, then also you can keep your elbows close. That targets the triceps more. And the hand stuff, similar to the grips, it really comes down to where do you feel it and what's comfortable. If someone tells you you got to keep your fingers straight like this during a push-up and it wrenches your elbows and tears up your shoulders, stop doing it. And if you feel like, wait, if I do this, I feel phenomenal, you're golden. There is no magic answer here. Put your grips where you feel the muscles. If someone says, hey, listen, super wide grip trains your chest, you try it, you're like, ow, ow, shoulders, ow, weird. And then you go like this and you're like, holy crap, I feel my pecs. And they're like, no, that's too close for pecs. That's bullshit. Because if you feel tension through your pecs, as you get close to failure and high rep push-ups, if the metabolites are really burning the shit out of your pecs, and after a couple of sets you get a nice pec pump, and at the end of the workout your pecs feel like they've been fried, it's for sure pecs. There's no debate because it's your pecs and they tell you what's going on. On the other hand, if you bring in with a really close grip, and yeah, you feel your triceps somewhat, but your elbow is like way too close, your elbows, shoulders feel uncomfortable, maybe even a range of motion is limited, try going out a little bit. It's all for personal adjustment. Which way you place your hands, your body needs to be the guide. Do what it takes to actually zap your target muscle or muscles, whatever they are, and make sure that it's as easy on the joints as it can be. Whatever that grip is, whatever that hand position is, that's the right answer. 2 mistakes for the price of 1 here. 1 is doing push-ups on a surface or with your hands and having slipperiness going on. If your hands are moving during the push-up, the big problem with that is that when you are unstable, your body decreases voluntary force output. That means you actually can't push your pecs and triceps close to their true failure, right? You will feel that it's hard, but it's hard in the wrong kind of way. It's not pushing your muscles to the limit, which is where most growth happens. So if you have a situation in which your hands are sliding, there are 2 fixes for this. 1, just try a different surface. Carpeting a lot of times works really well. A lot of times gyms have various surfaces. Try the ones that have the most solid foundation. And 2, if your gym allows it, put some chalk on your hands, LeBron the shit, and then you can do push-ups no problem, right? However, there's another problem. What about sliding feet? This is a real pain in the ass because sometimes your hands have an excellent grip, but your feet, for whatever reason, your shoes, or even you take your shoes off, your socks, they just keep sliding. That can be a real bummer because it again decreases force production and takes you out of the technique you want. There's actually a really easy fix for this. Find a wall, like Joey's doing here, and put your feet and heels all the way up into the wall, and then put your hands wherever they're gonna lie. So go ahead and do that. Yep. All the way into the wall, boom. And then we're doing push-ups, no problem. And there's absolutely no instability to the feet. This is an awesome trick that works super well. Hey shit, forget trick, Folks, this is a fitness hack. We're hacking over here. I'm actually a computer programmer. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Instead of a mistake, this one is just an added bonus tip. Folks, if you've never tried them, deficit push-ups can change your life. Shit's going bad for you, the tax collectors, ex-wife, all that wiped away with proper reps of deficit push-ups. Why are they so cool? First of all, they actually stress the triceps more because they stretch them under load. And of course, duh, it's unbelievable for the pecs. A full range of motion for many flexible people that aren't muscle bound like me is way below the floor, sometimes as many as 3 inches. Bet you heard that one before. Joey, show us what that looks like. Proper deficit push-ups get something solid, anything solid, all the way down and all the way up for a super deep stretch. Perfect. And one more. Excellent. Now, here's the deal. Do you have to pick the exact height at which your chest touches the ground with a deficit? No, because you'll search for the perfect blocks forever. Pick something that is at that height or above it. Even if your deficit is like 5 or 6 or 8 inches off the ground, that's totally cool, because then your stretch will be what stops you. Like with dumbbell presses, dumbbells just stop at some point when your body can't move anymore. That's an unbelievable movement. Give it a shot. All right, weighted push-ups. Should you be doing them? Well, it really depends on the stimulus to fatigue ratio you perceive with your own training when you try weighted push-ups. If you can do push-ups super, super high rep, then they're no longer really a hypertrophy exercise. So if you can do proper push-ups with a deficit for 30 plus reps, man, it's probably not the greatest exercise for you because it's now too light. There are tricks around this if you don't want to use weight, if you don't have someone to put the weight on you, or it's super awkward, or you don't like how it feels, which is totally fine. If you don't want to go the weighted push-up route, what you can do is place push-ups at the end of your program and or do them superset style. So you love the push-ups, you love the pump they give for your triceps, maybe do a set of cable tricep extensions first and then drop right into push-ups that'll keep your reps under 30, but it'll let you use push-ups as a great movement. If you want to do weighted push-ups, give them a shot. Just a couple of tips for you. 1, keep your solid plank position, hips and shoulders and toes in line. A lot of times with weight, it's easy to collapse and you're like, yeah, I did 200 pounds. No, you fucking didn't. You humped the floor with 200 pounds on your back. Congratulations, slow clap. Keep that plank, it's gonna be tough. Second is, remember, you want most of the force to be delivered to the upper body. Don't put the weight on your ass or on your lower back. Try to put it more on your upper back. As long as your elbows don't hit the weight and make you uncomfortable, the higher up, the better. So Joey's gonna set up in his push-up position. A lot of times what he can do is actually, Joey, drop just to one knee in that position. So you drop to one knee and that lets him set up without pissing away a lot of energy. I'm his training partner. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna put a weight on his back. Usually it's a good idea for me to hang out and just gently hold it. And then he's gonna knock out a set of 3 push-ups all the way up and down. 1 and 2, notice he's very rigid, and 3, and then I take the weight off, and that's how you do that. Folks, now you know how to do a proper push-up. That means you are the standard bearer of good technique. Next time someone tags you on Instagram in a push-up challenge, you see some movie about like athletes or people getting in shape and they're doing the worst push-ups you've ever seen, roll your eyes, do the shit the right way. You're in charge. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Comment, like, whatever YouTube bullshit. And if someone has a question in the comments and you know what you're talking about, feel free to answer them. Peace. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.